Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, for your key to the week, you have the Hermit card, right? And whenever we see the Hermit card, what you're actually looking at is this energy of withdrawal from the world, right? So this could see you really kind of going into a more spiritual experience this week. It could see you maybe pulling yourself out of the maddening crowd, so to speak. This could be a week where you're really starting to get very pensive about your future, about where it is that you feel like you're heading. The other thing with the Hermit card as well, this is always that thing that you do best. It's one of the things that you are deeply tied to, right? This idea of going on a quest for knowledge, right? That is the Sagittarius kind of motto. You know, there's this idea of what is deep, what is neat, you know, what needs to be known, how, you know, what is the truth of everything. And the Hermit card can very often see you going on that specific journey. Sometimes it is an actual journey, like a pilgrimage. Other times it's a journey where we go within, and very often it sees you removing yourself from the wider world stage or from the social circle, so that you can think straight, so that you can get a clear idea or understanding of what it is that you really are about now. Now, on the 5th of this month, remember there is a full moon lunar eclipse conjunct the South Node, and that is happening in your sign, right? So this is your full moon of the year, and it just so happens to be the first of these eclipses, right? So in your sign. So live it up, enjoy it, pay attention to what comes up for you. And also, this is a time to be still, right? Eclipses are always times of heightened spiritual energy. So pay attention to what is happening within you. What are your dreams saying? What are your feelings saying? What do you feel drawn to learning or studying now? What do you feel like gaining as a practical skill? So let's have a look at your actions and your options. This week you get the 6 of Swords, right? So for a lot of you, it does look like this could be the week where you start to make decisions on whether you're going to make an international move or not. For a lot of you, it does look like you really may be considering this. Now, for some of you, this is going to be a week where you decide you're literally going to take an actual journey, like an actual pilgrimage, maybe to go to a sacred site, maybe to go to a spiritual place, maybe to go to a temple. It could be anything like that. And any journeys like that are very highly favored for you this week. It may be that you are going to a place that is next to a body of water. That is definitely possible, or a sacred or a holy site. Now, for some of you, this could be about you making plans to go to do one of those bucket list type trips. Like I said, it's probably not going to be this week that you're taking the trip, but it does look like this week you could really be planning that. And for a lot of you, it does look like you're saying to yourself, you know what, does the country that I live in really feel like the place that I want to be for the rest of my life? It looks like you're asking this on a really deep level. This looks like it's something that you're really starting to ask yourself, you know, do I actually see myself or my future, you know, for myself or for my family here? For your communications and conversations, you have the 10 of Swords, which means this week you're not communicating. There is not a lot for you to say, and it kind of feels like this is going to be a week where you are very much living on the internal plane. So if you find that you don't want to communicate with people, if you find that you're not necessarily, you know, into the hype and the spin and everything else that's going on the wider world stage, just consider that that's because there's a lot going on within you. Sometimes the reason that we withdraw from the world is, one, to get away from all of the craziness that's happening out there, but also sometimes it's so that we can formulate what it is that we actually think, what it is that we actually feel and believe. And this is a big thing for you guys, right? So I feel like this week it could be coming up. Now, one thing that you do need to be aware of that is a possibility. Now, the Death card is not present, but we do have the 10 of Swords and the Hermit card. It could be this week. Now, this could be on the wider world stage, that's a possibility, but it could also be this week that somebody that lives overseas to you, you could hear of a passing. This could be a week where, you know, you get a call from someone to say, you know, this person, and it's very likely that this person is going to be an elderly person. It won't be somebody young, it will be somebody that is elderly. So just something for you to be aware of, you know, should it come up. For your money and materials, you have the Death card. So that is the confirmation that I needed. I thought so when I saw this pairing, you know, and the chances that it will be somebody overseas when you read that in a conjunction. But now that the Death card is there, there will definitely be news this week. There will be news that comes to your ears of somebody that lives overseas that has passed away. And this is very likely to be an elderly person. When it comes to your money and materials, it does look like you are making a big decision. And for a lot of you, I feel like this is about your home. Maybe it's about where you live. For a lot of you, I actually feel like it's kind of like you're saying to yourself, you know what, this place is not supportive to the life that I want to live. This is going to be a week that is very powerful. It will initiate a lot of change for you guys. And I got to be honest with you, with the Death card there in the money and materials sector, it looks like a week where you probably want to, this is a week where sleep, taking naps, taking rests, taking cat naps, all of that sort of stuff, take them when you can find them, because not only will you be, you know, will you be rested for it, but you'll actually feel like you'll get a lot from it. For your love and relations, fucking hell, we've got the High Priestess. So there's a few things here, and I can't go into too much just because the length of the video would be ridiculous. But first things first, for Sagittarians, and it's funny because this came up in your monthly reading. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I did say that over the course of June, you might want to check in and go and see a medium, somebody that has that gift to be the intermediary between this world and the next, to speak to people that have passed, to speak to other beings or intelligences. It looks like for some of you, you could be gaining those sorts of messages. So pay attention to your dreams this week. If you are thinking about going to see a psychic or a medium, this is a good week to do so, because the chances are this will be somebody that really has a very powerful gift indeed. It may be as well that somebody contacts you, a friend, a family member, and says, I had a dream about you, or, you know, this came to me as a vision, ... For those of you that are single, your High Priestess kind of suggests that this moment in time, there are going to be a lot of revelations about previous relationships or previous relationship partners. I feel like this full moon lunar eclipse is going to be one of those ones that takes the lid off of a lot of things. And I actually feel like there's going to be a lot of things that are spilled out over this time. So just be aware of that. For those of you that are partnered, it could very well be, if you have in-laws that are older, or somebody on your partner's side that live overseas or at a great distance to you that happen to be elderly, this could be the week where you are getting news about their passing or their transitioning. This is not going to be an easy week for you guys, I have to say. I'm sorry to say this. Between you and Taurus, you have weeks ahead of you that I do not envy. This is going to be a very intense week for you guys. It's not going to be easy, but I tell you what, it will be a week of revelations. A lot of things will be revealed to you. There'll be a lot of information that comes through. You will be clearer. By the time you get to the end of this week, you will be clearer on your own life path and vision than you ever have been in your life. I would say this is going to be one of those weeks where the hand of fate, or the, you know, the hand of God or spirit or whatever you want to call it, moves through your life. You personally will come through it unscathed, but there is a completion or a shedding of the mortal coil here for somebody that you have been tied to or attached to. I'm sorry to say that. On the other hand of it, yeah, it looks like there is a big decision being made about the country that you live in. So I will be interested to see how that shapes up. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have the best week that you possibly can. Be kind, be patient, be gentle with yourself. care for yourself, parent yourself as best as you possibly can. And with that, take care, and I will see you soon.